welcome to the double feature.
For your entertainment.
I've done this now twice and it just feels still awkward. Let's get on. Let me tell you this. Were both shows good? Smackdown was okay, going into Royal Rumble. And Rampage, not bad either. It's okay. Wasn't perfect. It's got its moments. But I'll tell you one thing. I did enjoy the matches more on Rampage than I did for SmackDown. I'm not going to lie. I am telling the truth. I enjoyed the Rampage matches more than I like the SmackDown matches. Sometimes it's been the reverse. As you know, I tell you how it is. But I'll say that these matches on Rampage were pretty good. Only 2 on Rampage were the best out of all the matches from both shows. 2. But generally, they were good. Let me give it to you like this. Was the Wheeler Yuta match with Hangman Page good? Yes, that was one of those 2 matches. And I will tell you this. You can see they're trying to push this so hard that Hangman Page is just as tough as Moxley and take your head off and make you have a concussion like Moxley gave to Hangman Page by accident. It was fine. Wheeler Yuta looks great. I like Wheeler Yuta. I do. Seeing that he put everything into this match to make Hangman Page look dominant, I'm fine with. Am I ready to see their next week match? Yeah. I want to see how far they're going to go with this, and will there be a twist? Now, the match that I'm going like, really? The Odd Couple match? You got Best Friends with Danhausen and Chuck and Trent, with Jeff Jarrett, with D. Satnam Singh, and understand, guys, you
know this better than anybody.
Rampage is filmed right after Dynamite. It's not the next day. It's literally the same night. And after that match, Jay Lethal had with Mark, he took off his band so people would understand that this is now Friday. I would not like to be Jay Lethal. He was really close to Jay. And I know he was still not in his right mind when he had to go and do a second match later in that night. I know he's a professional. He does his job well. But I'm definitely sure after it was over, he was still a mess. I can't even imagine how the roster feels right now, where most of those people really were close to him. And I say again, and I said this in my Dynamite review,
I commend TNT.
Even though they shouldn't have to be told multiple times by a Tony Khan, let us do this, please. And on top of that, guess what? Having clearly the fans also shitting on them, making them cave in as well. There's no way they didn't cave in by just Tony. It had to be more. It had to be backlash. That's the reason they put it on Rampage and Dynamite. That's the only reason they did it. So, let me tell you this. He did a good job for what he did for the match. Danhausen is just hilarious. Do I love Danhausen? He's funny as hell. I'm not gonna lie. That look on his face, that it gets me with that face paint on. But in the end, I was not surprised they were gonna lose. There's just no way. And particularly, let's talk about Satnam Singh. Satnam, not against him, but he's still very green, and he looks like a green, oversized wrestler, not like a professional wrestler. He looks like he's still learning. He looks green. So that makes him look off. I'm not against Satnam. I'm not against any Indian wrestlers. But you can tell the difference between like Alan Sher with a Jinder Mahal compared to Satnam by himself without other Indian wrestlers. He just looks very green. He needs work. But Alan Sher, taking away from the accents, they're fine wrestlers. When it comes to Jinder, he has his moments where he's somewhat okay, to dips down, dips up, to average, maybe sometimes above average just. He's not like a great professional wrestler, but he's like an average one that sometimes dips below it, does go above it sometimes, but he's generally average. That's just him. I'm not a big fan of Jinder, but that's just me. Now, the match that was short, sweet, to the point, Powerhouse Hobbs taking out a wrestler from Al Snow's camp what was his name? Tony Mud. He looked like mud when he got basically plastered to the mat by a powerhouse Hob, who is still doing the Book of Hob that gets an inspiration from Mark Henry's Hall of Pain. That's the only reason why he got that. He had to go to Mark. He probably went to Mark and said, Mark, you're my favorite wrestler. I love you. Can you give me an idea? And he says, well, I did the Hall of Pain in WWE. Why don't you do the Book of Hob? Try it. See, take a little bit of what I did with the Hall of Pain, putting people in the Hall of Pain, and try and incorporate it into a book. Try to show that the Book of Hobbs is as important as the Hall of Pain. That's what I think happened. But you guys tell me below. Finally, the match that I'm like, whoa. This was a great women's match. And that is Jamie Hayter versus Emi Sakura. I haven't seen her in a while, and if I remember correctly, she used to be a Joey Mercury fan, well, at least for her gimmick. And now she's coming out as the queen, as an empress or queen, all dressed in garb with two women flanking her. The one that was in red with the high heel boots. I want to see her again because she looked damn cute. Yeah, I can.
Look, I like women. What do you want?
I like women. What do you want? I like them. Do I have the ability to be charismatic around them? Hell no. Do I have the ability to be able to talk to them and woo them? Heck no. I don't even know how I got freaking married. I was lucky that my honesty and my, weirdly enough, innocence. I know you're going to say innocence, really. Honestly, yeah. As weird as it sounds, a 23-year-old guy who's as innocent as maybe a 12 or 13-year-old kid, due to the fact of the things I went through as a kid, I guess made me safe to be married. Anyway, but this was the best match between both shows. I'm saying it now. This was the best match between both shows. A true match and then a failed match. That will probably be on SmackDown when I get to Lacey Evans. I'm getting to her. But I love this match. It was extremely hard-hitting. And knowing how young Emi is, she worked in the business 27 years. And she started when she was 19. She still looks good for age. And what did she train? Like 50 women? Probably American, maybe Spanish, definitely Japanese. I'm sure she trained a lot of people. So it'd be interesting to see who else she's going to train before her retirement. Because I doubt she's going to retire by the time she hits 50. I think she'll be in it probably more than that. I'm hoping she will. Because if she's that good, she should stick around at least another 5 to 8 years at least. As long as she can go and not hurt herself. I know I could talk more about Eddie. I'm going to leave Eddie Kingston because I want to see what's going to go on Dynamite. Is he going to join the House of Black? Will they do an actual segment? Yes, the baddie segment happened. I knew it was coming. All of us knew that Red Velvet was eventually going to challenge for that damn title. And I'm going to say this now.
She better lose that damn title and just give it to Red Velvet.
She needs to drop that damn thing. It is time. She's gotten as much out of that title as possible. If Red Velvet does not win it, she does not gain it, and she retains, I'm talking about Jade, it is a stupid situation, and I'm going to shit on it every single time I see her. Because she deserves to move on from that title. It is done. But that's just me. Now let's move on to SmackDown. This show matches were good. I'm not telling the matches were terrible. They weren't. They were good matches in both shows. I just like the Rampage ones, at least 2 of them, more than like these. But let's get this done. Was this a great show going in Royal Rumble? Definitely it built into it and did what it needed to do. First match. Ray versus Killer Cross. Or Kyrian Cross. I'd rather call him Killer. Because he didn't kill here. Why? Why was this done? You could have had a signature match for Killer Cross or Kyrian Cross on Royal Rumble. You could have set it up for Ray. And then they could still have the match. at Royal Rumble. Or, better yet, you wait until next week after what happened there and then build on top of it. They decided to do it before there, and I don't agree with it. Is the match bad? No. Look, when it comes to Karrion Kross, we know that he's a good wrestler, but he's not a great wrestler. He's good. He's got a great gimmick. He's got a great look. He's got the hot smoking wife that every man wishes to sell their left testicle for. But he's not a great wrestler. He's a good one. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you got a good gimmick, you got a good look, you got a great manager, and his wife, I'm hoping they have a good life together. I hope they stay together. I hope that nothing goes wrong, because let's be honest, a lot of times these wrestlers, when they marry one another, don't last very long because there's always something that breaks them apart. I'm just hoping it does work. It's rare that it happens that they stick together and they're happy. But I kind of wish this match did not happen here. Either it should have happened in Royal Rumble and they didn't go into the Royal Rumble match, or if they had to, they could have done it on a kickoff, which kind of sucks. But it would go along with this story, or they do it after. I'm just not right here. It was fine, Ray wins. But I think it didn't need to happen here. Now, the match that was a total fail. A total fail. And I'll probably use this in the title and show Lacey Evans in a picture if I'm going to do an edit. I'm going to use my software to put a picture of Lacey Evans. Look. Did the vignettes of Lacey Evans look good? Yes. They actually look pretty good. If she focused like on being a Marine, going in the ring kind of like Macklin, or kind of like Sergeant Slaughter where she got the Cobra Clutch, it would have been fine. Her vignettes showed that she acted like that. But then when she came out, nope.
She acted like frickin' Lacey Evans.
Just a little more meaner in the face. I won't say that her tits didn't look good, because she decided to wear a top that showed a lot of her cleavage. No problem with that. But once she went against Jasmine, it all, next to her intro, walking in there, having an attitude, instead of walking up there, no attitude, be stone-faced, nothing, just cold. Like when a soldier must show no emotion. Like if you see the soldiers of the tomb, what was it? I forgot what the name of the tomb is right now. I forgot. But basically, the soldiers who basically protect the tomb, like the tomb guards, they are stone-faced. They don't have an attitude. They will tell you in a military way to get away from the tomb. The tomb of the unknown soldier. There you go. The tomb guards, they don't play around. They're fully armed with actual weapons to keep people away from the tomb. I would have liked her to come out stone-faced, cold, calculating. Just do it. Say nothing. Nothing. Just come out there with no attitude. Stand in the middle of that ring. Wait for her opponent. And if the opponent's already there, she goes into the corner and she just waits. And then destroys her. Nope. What do we actually get in this match? We got her acting like Lacey Evans. We got her doing the women's right, where she shouldn't be doing it anymore. She could use the camel clutch. Fine. But she does the woman's right. And in fact, it gets so bad.
Her right sole off of her wrestling shoe came off.
Literally, her wrestling shoe came off. The sole of it. This is your sneaker. It literally peeled off the bottom of it. That just shows you this was not going to work. It was bad, guys. It wasn't bad luck. This was just bad. Total, complete failure. Her character coming out was wrong. Her wrestling was still the old wrestling where she should not be using woman's right. She should be as violent as possible. Giving this to her opponent. Destroying her. No, she does not. And then her wardrobe malfunction. Not only did her belt, either she took her belt off or popped off, but her wrestling shoe, the entire sole peeled straight off. No, it wasn't a belt. It was a wrestling sole of her shoe just ripped right off. That shows you this didn't work. It was a disaster. She did her best to try and salvage it, saying she's going to take out every woman, which is fine. There was nothing wrong with that. But everything before that was a total mess. And look, I'm not against Lacey Evans. I'm not. I'm not a fan of her, but I'm not against her. But the way this worked out, she didn't have the right attitude getting into that ring. She should have been like Sergeant Slaughter, cold, calculating, or Macklin, vicious and destructive. She should have been that way. Or better yet, Bobby Lashley. He's no nonsense. She could have been any one of those type of personalities. She was not. She had to have cockiness. Then she didn't change up her style. She should have been more vicious. The way she was in her vignettes was not what she did. And then her ring attire fell apart. And even though her titties look good,
She's not an ugly woman.
whether she's a blonde or not, I don't care. Her boobs look great. It made no difference. I'm just saying. Next, one semifinal match. We got Hit Row versus... Well, understand, there was no Hit Row versus Sheamus and Drew, even though they set it up. Viking Raiders destroyed them. But let's be honest here. Are they supposed to? They're more singles than anything else, even though they're tagging together. I just didn't expect them to win. So they forfeited. So what do we get? Braun Strowman and Ricochet come out, win the match, made Hit Row look like bitches, made Top Dollar, seeing that Ricochet is the one who jumped over the top turn rope and nailed Top Dollar, and again Michael Cole screws with Top Dollar, saying, now that's how you jump over a top rope. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not against Top Dollar. In real life, the actual man is probably a very nice guy, counting if he is a nice guy. But let's be honest. He made the choice to try and jump over the top turn rope. And understand, in WWE, they're way more vicious when you fuck up than you would be on the indies. Yes, they won't forget there. And they won't make you live it down immediately. But we're talking about WWE, where they will burn it into you. Think about Titus O'Neil. They showed him falling, going into the Greatest Royal Rumble. He didn't live that up. It was years before people left him alone. So Top Dollar's got a world of pain still coming. Now, what did we get when it came? I'm going to tell you this. Seeing when... How can I describe this? Am I happy to see Brock Lesnar? No. I understand he's got to come back. They need him because he's one of the few attractions they have left. Did I want to see a Austin Fury get his moment? Yes. Was I glad to see New Day? Yeah, I kind of still wish I knew what the status of a Biggie Langston is. I'm hoping he's okay. Well, he's probably fine, but he probably can't wrestle still. He's probably still not great with his neck yet, if ever. Seeing them were fine. Telling Fury that they are more important than him. Seeing The Miz, I'm going like, The Miz? Really? I can understand the reason why when Lashley came out, because he took out The Miz, he took out Austin Fury, he took out both New Day. He didn't give them an option. He whipped their ass. He whipped that ass until Brock F5'd him. Twice. I believe it was twice. He F5'd him twice. So essentially speaking, they're trying to do something that should have been done more than a few years ago. Let's make this clear. The reason why we're getting Brock Lesnar and Bobby now is because Vince would not put Bobby against Brock years ago, because that's when they should have had it. Brock should have been dealing with Bobby years ago, but they haven't done it. They haven't. And that's been one of the worst things for the WWE, when they had something that would have been hot. Now it feels semi-warm to kind of getting hot. The question is going to be where they're going to go with this when they hit Royal Rumble going into WrestleMania. If they're going to continue it, I don't know. You guys tell me below. Now, we got... What do I think of Eli Drake? Using the old Bray Wyatt music when he first came out with the Wyatts. That was awesome. I loved it. That is how an Eli Drake, a LA Knight would be. And look, I know people are going to be saying, dude, why do you keep calling him Eli Drake? He's LA Knight. I understand.
If you've never seen my channel and I keep calling Eli Drake LA Knight,
Well, the reverse. LA Knight, Eli Drake. If you look back in my Impact reviews, I was one of the few people who saw Eli Drake, LA Knight, as something big. I knew he would be. I knew he was way better than people thought he was. They thought he was a biting off of a rock, which in a sense he is, but he's doing it well. I just knew it. And now, JD loves him. Just Alex loves him. A lot of people love the person that I knew years ago, back in 2016 to 15. I knew he was something. So I have the right to say it. Not saying I'm the only one. It would be awesome if I was the only person to realize it, but I know that other reviewers, when they were doing it in Impact, who noticed it. But I still like doing Eli. And was the segment good? Yes. Seeing Bray there, yes. Then seeing Uncle Howdy, yes. I really hope it is Bo Dallas. Doesn't mean it is, but I'm hoping. That's just me. Okay. Final match. Solo Sikoa versus a... Let me give it to you like this. Was the opening of the show showing Sammy coming to see Jay good? Yes. Because it goes along with what I said. Now, I don't know about any other reviewer who noticed it. I'm sure that JD has noticed. I'm sure just Alex noticed. When it comes down to it, the catalyst to get a Sammy to turn on Roman Reigns is going to be Jay. Whether Jay goes with Sammy and is against the bloodline, or if Jay stays with the bloodline, but he's the only one who believes that Sammy has never been against them, but everyone turns on him, it's going to be Jay. Jay is the focal point of this situation. He is. There's no way to deny it. Look what happened. When they got ejected after dealing with Kevin, who did he call? He called his boy. And his boy came in, and when the match happened, which was a good match, no problem with it, we got a no contest. Because the ref didn't call a DQ. He rung the bell, but there was no statement. Sammy saved Solo from being splatted. There was no DQ announcement. I guess it was a no contest match. Then we got Solo kicking Sammy in the face. We got Solo getting nailed in the back with the chair. Also getting nailed and thrown onto the table. And Sammy does not get hit by a Kevin Owens. He just leaves it. He said, "This was meant for you." Whack. And then he throws the chair away, walks away, and said, "I'm coming for you, Roman Reigns." Is it a good match? Yeah. Was the segment afterward good for saving Solo? Yes. It leaves more dissension, more questions. Now, Roman's going to be mad. The question is going to be, what is the final test going to be at Royal Rumble? That's going to be the question. Will Sammy finally be forced out of the bloodline? Or will Sammy finally be fully accepted, and instead of being an honorary Uso, he may be a full-blown Uso? That's going to be the big question. So I say both shows are all right. A couple of matches were not good, but let's be honest. What happened to Lacey Evans was a total fail. Wrong attitude coming out, wrong ring style when she came out, and a wardrobe malfunction where the sole of her wrestling shoe came off. Flat out. Tits looked great. She spoke all right after the match was over, her promo. Not saying it was perfect, but it was fine. But that's what we got. And I hope you enjoyed this double feature. Please give me a comment below. I'm going to see if I can do before Royal Rumble, I'm going to see if I can get a chance to maybe look at MLW or NWA. I'm going to see either that or do it Sunday. One of the two. I might actually try and do it Sunday, maybe MLW or NWA. One of them, I think. But if I can, I'm sorry. Peace.